Join us on the last episode.
So to be honest, I don't think I could hold anything in my mouth for that long. It's too hard. But it does make you think, what would Noel Edmonds do?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, mate. You got to have a think about these things.
It matters. It matters. Yeah.
Definitely. So, why are we here today?
We're going to Africa.
Woo! Taking a trip.
Yeah, road trip.
Nice.
We're doing African monsters.
Oh,
and
cool.
Just as a warning, this may be, no promises, but it may be the first in a few.
Okay, cool.
We'll see how it goes. So, what I've brought you today is 10 African monsters. Now, I would like to go around the world with the monsters, which we will over time. I am fully aware, before anyone pushes up their glasses and says, actually, I am aware Africa is a continent and not a country. Okay. However, I've gone for the top, not the top, but some of the top monsters of Africa deliberately. Okay. I am aware it's a continent. Just going to point that out. Okay, so without messing about, I'm going to jump in with the first one.
Cool.
The first one we have the crowing crested cobra. So we've got variation names on it ahead of time. There's going to be a lot of pronunciations that I am not used to. A lot of consonants next to consonants that aren't usually coming up in my everyday speech. So, variations of the crowing crested cobra are Nyoka tambala in Malawi, Bubu in Chupananga, Mozambique. That's a specific town there. Hongo, Nagindo, or Indlongdio in Zulu. Inkomi, which means killer, in Nyakyusa. Kovako in Nyamwezi. Limba in Chitipa district, Malawi. Slight differences within the same place. Nagaluka in Chitipa district, Malawi, so another one. Nagosh in Bemba. Noga Putsani, which means goat snake, in Botswana. Songo Songwe in Yao. And Black Mamba, which is an already established snake and toy, I believe.
True blue.
So, they're the versions of the name crowing crested cobra, which you didn't need to know. So,
I like it.
Crowing crested cobra is a blanket term used for a number of crested, noise-making venomous snakes. It's one of the most widespread legends in East African lore and is also known from the West Indies, especially Jamaica and Santo Domingo. A crowing crested cobra is a snake similar to a cobra with a crest on its head and capable of making sounds like a rooster. Now, when we say crest on its head, we're going to say one of these mohawks that roosters have.
Right.
Like one of their wiggly line red things over the top of their head. So they've got that and the hood like a cobra.
Nice.
Yeah. And those sounds range from crowing to clear bell-like notes to bleating. Sometimes wattles are present as well. The snake is venomous and very dangerous. So I've got in my mind a snake with a rooster's head, with a cock head.
pretty much. I wonder if he has the dangly bits.
That's the wattle.
Ah.
Scrotee. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I mean. I'm seeing a cock on the end of a snake.
Like it.
Yeah. So, but very venomous and dangerous. Living.
Is it big?
Sorry.
Is it big?
I'm not sure. We're getting there.
Cool.
Slow down, Lee. Slow down.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. Fire away.
So, Livingstone reported the death of a little girl in Mozambique caused by an enormous snake. There you go. It's enormous. That dashed at the child. Well, that'll be the snake's opinion. But it dashed at the child, bit her, and made off into a hole. This snake was known as Boo Boo to the people of the area, and they describe it as 12 feet long, dark, with a dirty blue colour under its belly, and with red markings on its head, like the wattles of a rooster. It will hide in a tree and strike passers-by one after the other, killing them in short order. To protect against it, a pot of boiling water or porridge should be carried on the head. The snake will try to bite that and kill itself in the process, or at least get scolded and discouraged from future attempts. Nonetheless, Livingstone admits that one will probably recognize the mamba in this snake. He also makes separate mention of another, different snake that makes a sound like the crowing of a cockerel, adding that this is well authenticated. Shiakor, another man of the world, claimed to have in his possession the bony skeleton of the fleshy comb, as well as part of the neck with some vertebrae in it. 5 lumbar vertebrae and a single 22mm by 16mm dorsal vertebrae from a very large snake. He describes the crowing crested cobra as growing 18 to 20 feet long. It is buff-coloured, with a red crest that points forward. The male has wattles as well. There's no hood like a cobra's, and the head is small for the size of the body, while the bones of the skull are denser than usual. It moves very fast and can climb trees. The male crows like a rooster, while the female clucks. T-T-T. That's the clucking sound that it says here. Both sexes make a warning sound. Choo-choo, choo-choo. Rapidly, so it'll be choo-choo-choo-choo.
Yeah. Not I choo-choo-choose you.
That means something else, apparently. Yeah. Yeah, pronunciation matters. That repeats rapidly. Shiakor also attributes the crowing crested cobra, or Inkomi, a diet of maggots, explaining that it kills indiscriminately to create more food for maggots. It is tolerated around villages where mutual respect keeps it and humans apart. It is also intimately associated with sorcery and witchcraft. Chieftains and witch doctors wear pieces of it, and parts of its body are used in curative purposes. Preparations. I don't know why I said purposes. It's not even the word. Parts of the snake in mixtures amplify the potion's effect. Shiakor gives it a range of the lower Zambezi in the south to Victoria Nyanza in the north, Lake Tanganyika in the west, and the Indian Ocean in the east. So it's quite a big stomping ground for the crowing crested cobra. So Loveridge, another man, equates the crowing crested cobra with a black mamba. Tellingly, he also gives Songo and Songwe as the native names of the black mamba, and Shiakor also gives Songo as the name of the crowing crested cobra. So we've got some crossover going on. Similarly, vocal snakes are found throughout East Africa. The limber of Malawi is crested and crows. It can be found in the Mafinga Ridge. The fierce Ngluka has the head of a snake on the body of a guinea fowl.
Nice.
Yeah. Noga putsani, the goat snake, or serpent of a kid, bleats like a goat to attract its victims. Livingston claimed to have heard one calling from a spot where no kid could have been. The Zulu plumed viper in Londolo is also known to bleat. And finally, even the umblede, or dead man's tree, said to kill anyone that approaches it and strikes birds dead in flight. It's said to bleat like a goat. Rationalizations for the combinations of features include a snake trying to eat a loudly protesting rooster, and a snake that was sloughing its skin with pieces of dead skin giving the impression of a crest and wattles around the head. The snake and rooster are strongly involved in voodoo belief, which give a cultural background to the creature. The resemblance to the basilisk is also notable. Calls attributed to the crowing crested cobra are usually the work of rails. These are small, retiring birds with a tendency to call at dusk or at night. Flufftails in particular have particularly haunting calls. The call of the buff-spotted flufftail has been connected to the crowing crested cobra as well as to banshees, to a chameleon giving birth, to a chameleon mourning for its mother, which it accidentally killed in a squabble over mushrooms, which is specific, and to giant snails.
Jeez.
So that brings us to the end of number one, the crowing crested cobra. What are your thoughts while I take a drink?
I was going to think that this would be quite a snake-heavy episode, so I was just going to assume most kind of folklore goes on the animals that are present, I guess, around at the time. But no wonder they named a sex toy after this. All the innuendos in that, man. I mean, finger marriage, climbing up the trees, popping down holes.
All the extra dangly and knobbly bits on it, yeah.
Yeah, man. This guy's got it. He's too... I'm going to be honest with you, mate. He's too sexy to be scary.
Do you think it sounds like some story that some lady gave her husband when he found it?
Maybe, yeah. And I'm thinking with this fancy crest on his head, there's a little bit,
the deluxe
fancy free. Yeah. So, yeah, I like it. I don't think I'd be terrified. Maybe be bemused and slightly aroused, but not terrified by the sight of this creature. So,
fair enough.
I like him, yeah.
Not even if it were 20 feet long with a scrotty and a mohawk.
Oh, no, that's part of his charms.
Fair enough. So we'll leave that there, and we're going to move on to the group slang.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Variations are group slang as two separate words, big snake, great snake, Great Snake of the Orange River, and Q-Man. So the group slang literally means big snake. So I'm guessing that's an Afrikaans word for group slang, which is great snake.
Great snake.
So it's not a snake made of wood, like group snake. So anyway, it literally means big snake or great snake and dwells in or around the Orange River in the Richtersveld, South Africa. So we're very Dutch now.
Right.
In association with fabulous diamond deposits, its home may be in the Orange River itself. A pool underneath the King George Cataract, which is a big rock, or a semi-mythical cave known as the Wonder Hole, or the bottomless pit, which is a bit more ominous than the Wonder Hole. Maybe the crested crowing cobra lives there too.
Easy.
The cave is said to be the source of the diamonds of South Africa. From there, they move down a pipe to the river, which carries them to the sea. That's the Groot slang, not the diamonds.
Right.
As its name implies, the Groot slang is an enormous snake, big enough to take cattle at the water's edge. It has huge diamonds in its eye sockets, and its presence exerts an evil influence on all who see it. It is some 40 feet long and leaves a serpentine spore on the muddy riverbanks that is 1.5 to 3 feet wide, spore being tracks. We're not talking spore, S-P-O-R-E, like stuff in the air from like mushrooms and that. We're talking spore, S-P-O-O-R, which is footprints, tracks, snake drags. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the spore it leaves. And there were never traces of feet associated with the Groot slang spore. Whoever said they had feet?
Beats me.
But I have absolutely no doubt we're going to come across a snake with feet.
I hope so.
Over time, the Groot slang has accumulated elephantine features. This stems partly from the cryptozoological desire to connect it to the Makuli Mbembe, the daddy, and other such surviving dinosaurs, and partly from Rose's description of it as huge like an elephant with the tail of a serpent. So, that's the end of Groot slang. It's only a short one. But, Makili Mbembe is the daddy of the African monsters. He is the Nessie of the African continent. And yes, he is the daddy and should have an episode of his own, although he does feature in this list. But yeah, Makili Mbembe, brilliant.
So this one's big, huge?
40 feet.
40 feet, okay, this is huge.
Now, not that big, really. If its body's the size of an elephant and it's 40 feet long, 40 feet's big. Elephants are big, but generally, to scale, it's quite squat.
More like a slug.
I'd say, like a maggot. Yeah. With a trunk.
Okay. Well, that'd make it look a little bit more freaky. Do you know what I mean? Just this huge, fat-bodied snake with a trunk.
If you think of a round body and then the trunk, we're thinking more brontosaur now shape.
Man.
Which is very close to what Makili Mbembe is.
Okay. This thing looked muffed up. For the image is correct that I'm getting in my head. Don't see how it really survived. I think Darwin killed that one off.
Some of the illustrations of these creatures that I saw while making this list, they're great. There's some really good tattoos in there.
Have we got Lumberwood style illustrations where they're just...
Oh no, there's a lot of effort gone into these. But yeah, they're very similar to some of the Lumberwood creatures, but drawn properly and not scribbled on the back of whoever drew those pictures for the Lumberwoods. These are
a diner napkin.
Yeah, it's brilliant. On a bit of bog
cool.
from the Portaloo and the Lumberjack site, which is what I got from it. So number 3, without moving on, another short one. Zankalala. Okay. No alternative names for this one. So the Zankalala is a terrifyingly mighty creature from the folklore of the Hausa people. He is only the size of 2 clenched fists, but he wields a snake as a walking stick, a pair of scorpions as spurs, and a swarm of bees as a hat. His mount is a jerboa, which essentially is a gerbil.
Okay.
They're like the desert rats that hop.
Yeah.
That's a jerboa. So the gerbils, as far as we know.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, he rides a gerbil, but he's the size of 2 fists. That's still big for a gerbil to be carrying.
Yeah.
Wherever he goes, he's followed by birds. I know that feeling. That sing his praises and attack his enemies. He's also implied to have supernatural powers.
Nice.
Even the dodo, which is not the dodo we know, the bird from Mauritius.
Okay.
It is another thing. It'll be later on in the list called the dodo. But even the dodo, the fearsome monster, the swallower of men, is powerless before the Zankalala. Once a boy was being chased by a dodo along a riverbank and he came upon the Zankalala. Where are you going? Asked the Zankalala. I'm running away from Dodo, said the boy. Stay, said the creature. The dodo will not harm you. And immediately a silk cotton tree grew over the Zankalala, and the birds in it sang in praise. The lion is afraid of the Zankalala. The hyena is afraid of the Zankalala. Dodo is afraid of the Zankalala. Then the dodo caught up with his quarry, and he was nonplussed. Where is my property? He demanded. But the Zankalala responded impudently, saying, What property have you given me? This infuriated the dodo. If you will not give me my prey, then you will be my meal. When the dodo caught up with his... I've just read that. With that, the dodo gobbled up the tiny creature, only for the Zankalala to emerge from his stomach, accompanied by the joyous chorus of birds. Then the dodo ate him again. But the Zankalala came out of his back, telling the birds to continue singing his praises. The third time the dodo swallowed him, the Zankalala emerged from the monster's head, killing it.
Nice.
You may leave in safety, the Zankalala told the boy. You have seen that one is stronger. You've seen that one is stronger than the other. You escaped because you met me. This tale of a small trickster creature outwitting the dodo is sometimes told with a centipede or hedgehog replacing the Zankalala.
Right. I like the Zankalala because I ain't got time for dodos. I think they're crap. No one ever made friend with a dodo. They're kind of, well, what I see them as the assholes of the jungle. I'm not a fan. So I'm Zankalala all the way. I like him. He kind of sounds a bit cheeky.
He's very confident, isn't he?
He is, and I like that. He's got swagger. Zankalala swagger.
Okay. He's got riz.
That's why all the birds follow him, mate.
Well, like I say, I know the feeling, and sometimes it can get you down.
You've got a bit of Zankalala swag about you.
Well, I try and hide it a lot of the time. Right, number 4, we've got Namangumi. Okay, variations being Nalunguli, Liporo, and Napolo. So the Namangumi or Nalungumi, usually translated to whale, features in the initiation ceremonies of the Yao people of Malawi, Mozambique, and Tanzania. So, he's got some range on him.
Nice. Or
her, them. Despite the whale designation, the Namangumi pictured in the Inyago ceremonies has 4 limbs. There is a stylized and ornamental webbing drawn between the limbs, and there are 2 knobs marking the juncture of the neck with the forelimbs and tail with the hind limbs respectively. So he's all webbed up. It has prominent tusks around its head, and the entire body is crisscrossed with a complex of grid pattern. So I'm getting a crocodile feel off this.
Yeah.
The Namangumi lives in Lake Malawi It would surface near a village, and the people could come and carve off chunks of meat from its vast body. The action was painless, and the wounds healed immediately. The meat itself tasted different depending on where it came from. Some areas of Nagumi's body produced choice cuts, while others were practically inedible.
It's like the meal that never ends.
Isn't it?
That's amazing.
As an initiatory figure, the Namagumi represents water and kinship. A similar creature, the Leporo of the Anyaya, is not as large. Its habits include killing hippos and tipping canoes. It is believed to be extinct, and that the Napololo is a similar flood-related water serpent.
Be better if that was tipping hippos and killing canoeists.
Oh, well, maybe it does. Or maybe it's a hippo.
Maybe, man.
Maybe it's an old, mean, manky hippo. Because of the crisscross, it's probably got loads of wounds on it. Ooh, and it's just an old battle ox of a hippo.
Nice.
You know, like an apex hippo.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. In the African chapter of the Street Crocs. Okay, we're now hitting the midpoint. Number 5. Nana Bolele. Variations include Dinana Bele and Linana Bele. So, Nana Bolele. Thakani and her 2 brothers were the children of a Basotho chief. In some versions, there is only one brother, Masilo. In some retellings, the siblings are orphans. In others, their parents are merely distant figures. Either way, Thakani was like a mother to her brothers. She cared for them, made their food, and filled their water jugs. When they had to go to school, it was Thakani who took them there. When they were circumcised in the traditional grass huts, the Mafato, it was Thakani who took them there and waited on them until the ritual was over and they had rested. It was their sister who brought them the clothes they would wear as men. But Thakani's brother did not accept her choice of clothing. Only items made from the skin of a nanobele would do.
Fancy.
Isn't it? They wanted shields of nanobele hide and shoes of nanobele leather and clothing of nanobele skin and hats cut from nanobele and spears tied up with strips of nanobele. They refused to leave Mufato until their request was fulfilled. She should have just stopped feeding them.
Right.
I'd have fixed that.
Exactly.
It was a tall order. The Nanabeles, they who shine in the night, were horrid reptilian creatures that live underwater and underground. They glow in the darkness, giving off light like the moon and stars do. They were deadly predators, and surely there was some mistake. Why do you ask the impossible? Asks Thakane. Where am I supposed to find Nanobele skin? Where? Nah. But her brothers would not be swayed, declaring that it became them as the sons of a chief to wear Nanobele skin. So Thakane set out, knowing that if their father was around, he would have done the same. It fell upon her to accomplish the task in his stead. She set off with oxen, beer calabashes, sweet corn balls, and a large retinue in search of the Nanabeles. She sang as she went. Nanabele, Nanabele, my brothers won't leave the Mafato, Nanabele. They want shields of Nanabele, Nanabele, and shoes they want of Nanabele, Nanabele, and clothes they want of Nanabele, Nanabele, and hats they want of Nanabele, Nanabele, and spears they want of Nana Bailey.
Nana Bailey!
Go on.
Get it.
That was the last line when you caught on there, Lee. But well done. Then Thakani sang. When Thakani sang, the waters of the nearby stream parted and a little frog hopped out. Kuru, keep going, it told her. Thakani kept going from river to river, following the directions given by frog after frog, until at last she came upon the widest and deepest river yet. She sang a song, but nothing responded. Then she tossed some meat in, followed by an entire pack ox, but nothing happened. Finally, the water stirred, and an old woman stepped out, greeting Thakani and inviting her to come in with her. Thakani followed the old woman into the river, followed by her company, her retinue, I reckon. To her surprise, there was an entire river under the water, dry and breathable. But there was nobody there. It was empty and silent as the grave. Who'd have thought there'd be a dry river under a river?
Wild.
A lot of questions there. There's a lot to unpack.
Yep.
Where are all the people, grandmother? Said Thakani to her guide. Alas, said the old woman, the Nana Bailey have eaten them. Adults, children, cattle, sheep, dogs, chickens, everything. Only I was allowed to live. I am too old and tough to eat, so they make me do their work for them. Yo way, said Thakani, we are truly in danger. But the old woman bade them hide, lead them into a deep hole, which she covered with reeds. Led them into a deep hole, which she covered with reeds. It wasn't long after Thakani and her friends had hidden in their when the Nana Bailey returned to the village, sounding like a huge herd of oxen. The creatures glowed, shining like the moon and the stars, but they did not sleep, instead sniffing around intently. We smell people, they snarled, but they found nothing, and eventually tired and went to sleep. That was the opportunity Thakani had been waiting for. She and her companions emerged from hiding and, singling out the biggest Nana Bailey, quickly slaughtered it, and before it could wake up the others, they flayed it in silence and prepared to leave. Before they left, the old woman gave Thakani a pebble. The Nana Bailey will follow you, and when you see red dust clouds against the sky, that will be them on your trail. This pebble will save you from them. Sure enough, dawn had barely broken when Thakani saw the cloud of red dust. The Nana Baileys were in pursuit. Thakani quickly dropped the pebble on the ground, and it grew, becoming an enormous mountain that she and her friends climbed. They took refuge at the top, while the Nana Baileys exhausted themselves trying to climb it. Then, as the reptiles lay catching their breath, the mountain shrank, and Thakani picked up the pebble, and the chase continued. So that was ultimately a waste of time. And thus it went on for several days, and the Nana Baileys catching up only to be worn out by the Pebble Mountain. But when Thakani reached her home, she called upon all the dogs of the village to attack the Nana Baileys. The creatures, terrified, turned tail and ran back to their abandoned village under the river. There was only one thing left to do. The Nana Bailey's skin, which gives off light in the dark, was cut and prepared into items of clothing and armour and weapons, and Thakani herself took them to her brothers in the Mafato. Nobody else had seen such wondrous items, and Thakani's brothers rewarded her handsomely with 100 head of cattle.
Nice.
So that's the Nana Bailey story.
Okay, I like that one. It's a bit more folklore-y. A bit more of like, I think you always know when you get the folklore tales because they go a bit wild, but I like that one. Again, not feeling scared from this animal. I like it. It's interesting.
Have you got a pebble that turns into a mountain, eh?
Well, man, I'm a simple man, simple pleasures.
Be scared.
I guess. Maybe if I was face to face. But, kind of a hard ass. It takes a lot to scare me. I've seen a lot of horror films.
You are left around Leeds and Grimsby.
This is it, mate. This is it. I try.
So, number 6 is the Makalala.
Makalala.
None of them have had particularly frightening names yet. So, the single reference to the Makalala comes from an account written by Fisher, who attributes it to the Wasagua or Wasakua of Tanzania. These people lived some 8-9 days' journey inland from Zanzibar, with Fisher hearing of the Makalala during a stay in Bagamoyo and a visit to the Nguru Mountains. Fisher's observations were summarised and repeated by Marshall under the title Problematic Bird. So, a Makalala is an enormous bird standing taller than an ostrich with very long legs. Its head and beak are those of a bird of prey. Its wings end in plates of a compact horny substance which make a lot of noise when struck against each other, hence its name, which means noisemaker. It is a powerful flyer and feeds on carrion. For all its size, a Makalala is a very skittish, shy bird, and the only way to come close enough to kill it is to feign death. And when the Makalala approaches, the hunter can spring to life and knock it down. Chiefs of the Wasagua wear Makalala skulls as helmets. Fisher also saw in Zanzibar a baleen-like object tapering from 20 centimetres to 1.5 centimetres and with a thickness of 0.5 centimetre, but did not believe at the time that it came from a bird. Not sure what a baleen is, to be honest. So that's the Makalala. It's a big bird with hard wingtips and eats dead stuff. And it's skittish and shy. Why you'd want to kill it, I'm not sure. But if you want to, play dead and then jump up and admit it.
How big are we talking? Big?
Bigger than an ostrich, apparently.
Bigger than an
ostrich? I think ostriches could get like 6 foot tall, maybe taller.
Right. All depends on that temperament. Do you know what I mean? Because some ostriches can be vicious.
They can be proper dicks.
This is it. Where flamingos, big birds, but they kind of just have a chill, stand on one foot.
Well, they've got upside down heads. They're not scary.
This is it, mate. This is it. But yeah.
So that one didn't get you?
I'd be a bit scared of a big bird anyway. I'm thinking almost a little bit dinosaur-y vibes with this. Those long, scaly, reptilian legs and just that big, buff bird bod. Yeah, I'm not saying I would invite him in for tea, all right, but...
Okay, well, the next one's a little bit intimidating, a little bit more intimidating, let's say. Number 7 is the Coracotta. Variations on the name are Coracottas, Crocotas, Crocotos, Crocotas, Coracottas. Oh, is it just much of the same for another 3 lines? And then we've got Hyena, Lena, Yena, Yena.
I know them sisters.
Indeed. Lena Hyena was the ugly one that looked like Jessica Rabbit from behind. And she turned around and she's all ugly in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That was Lena Hyena.
Good call.
There you go.
I like that.
A little bit of knowledge laid on you there for free.
Sweet.
So let's get into it. So the hyena was known to the ancients under several names. The term hyena and hyena almost certainly refer to the smaller and more familiar striped hyena. The more exotic crocotta is probably the spotted hyena, especially considering his vocal qualities and prowess at hunting. Then there are other terms that may refer to hyenas such as glanos, the chouse, and the thos. The last of which is probably a jackal, civet, or hunting dog. Okay. So much of what is said about the crococotta is shared with the hyena, and even Greek and Roman authors seem uncertain as to whether or not it is separate from the hyena. Translators of classical texts have also chosen to retain crococotta as a unique word, or simply replace it with hyena. Further muddying the waters is the emergence of the derivative lucrococotta, which gained features of the hyena crococotta through this confusion and passed on its own features such as lion hyena ancestry and single bones for teeth to the crococotta. What is known is that the crococotta is unfamiliar, hailing from far-flung lands, either Ethiopia or India, depending on the author. The regions were used interchangeably. If it is indeed African, the word crococotta may be Libyan or Ethiopian word for hyena. Lasson, cited by McCrindle, saw in Ctesias an Indian origin to the crococotta and derives its name from Sanskrit kroshtuka, which is jackal. The name has since been applied to the spotted hyena crocuta crocuta. You see, I'm getting a cryptid feeling on this one, like it may have been a type of hyena which isn't there anymore.
Yep.
But may still get spotted, which is the very essence of cryptids.
Yep, agreed.
So, Ctesias says that the crococotta is also known as the Cynolysis dog wolf.
All right.
It is found in Ethiopia and is incredibly strong. It can mimic human voices, calling people out by name at night and killing them when they come out in response. It is as brave as a lion, as fast as a horse, and as strong as a bull, and cannot be fought with steel weapons. Agathochides says it is a fierce and powerful creature that lives in Ethiopia. It can crush bones with its jaws. The crococotta can also mimic human speech, and it uses this ability to lure humans out at night so it can kill them. Agathochides, or whatever, rejects this. Pliny, original crypto man, says that the crococotta is the offspring of a dog and a wolf, and it can crush anything with its teeth, and anything it eats is immediately digested and passed through its body. It is Ethiopian, and elsewhere further powers are attributed to the hyena or crocuta. It changes sex every other year. Its neck is an extension of its spine. Okay. And I've lost myself now because that was a silly statement. And it can imitate human speech and vomiting sounds. It digs up graves, its shadow strikes dogs dumb, and it paralyzes other living things by circling around them 3 times, and it has 1,000 variations in eye colour. Alien separates the hyena and the crococotta. The hyena roams around the cattle pens by night and imitates the sound of vomiting, attracting dogs which are promptly killed and eaten. But the crococotta is even craftier. Alien says that it listens to woodcutters calling each other by name, and the words they say, then it imitates their voices, calling out to its victim and withdrawing before calling again. It continues this game of cat and mouse until its prey has been tempted far away from their friends, whereupon the crococotta pounces and kills them. Alien admits that the story may be fabulous. Dio Cassius reports that Severus had a Coracotta imported from India to be slain in the games in AD 202. It had never been seen in Rome before. By the time the crocotta and the Lou crocotta had reached medieval Europe, the similarity of their description combined with the Lou Coracotta's more memorable physical features caused them to combine. The MS Bodley 764 Bestiary adds a mention to the crocotta at the end of the hyena entry, describing it as a hybrid of lion and hyena, with a single bone replacing its teeth. Both features of the Lou Coracotta. It imitates human voices and is always found in the same place. The Lou Crotta on the other hand, is given a complete entry of its own, which is fairly faithful to its original account. Albertus Magnus refers to the Cyrocrothes, which is the Coracotta with the single tooth bone of the Lou Crotta, and the Lou Crocothum is further corrupted in the Ortus Sanitatis, which includes both the Cirotrochia and the Lou Crocuta. Are you getting this?
I'm following. I'm memorising these.
It's giving me a headache. Topsell divides his hyena entry to cover the varieties of hyena. In addition to the hyena proper, he provides additional hyenas, including the papio, which is baboon, the manticora, and the crocuta. Now, the manticore is more of a like a lion head with wings, like a lion with wings,
right?
A bit like a griffin, really, or a sphinx. Yeah. The crocuta has become the same as the lucruta and is Ethiopian cross between a lioness and a hyena, with its teeth replaced by a single bone in each jaw. He imitates men's voices and can break and digest anything. Ludolphus is clear that the hyena or crocuta is now, by now they are one and the same, and refer to what we would now call the spotted hyena, is the most voracious of all Ethiopian beasts, preying upon men in the day as well as at night, and digging down the walls of houses and stables. It is speckled with black and white spots. It may be that the hyena of the ancients was the striped hyena, while the Coracotta was the spotted hyena, or vice versa. The imitation of human speech seems a clear allusion to the spotted or laughing hyena's vocalizations. Despite that, the Palestrina Nile mosaic identifies a striped creature as a Coracotta. Spotted animals are labelled as examples of mysterious thos. Finally, a notable Spanish bandit was known as Coracotta, and this may be a complete coincidence.
Good work, mates. Good work. This is Africa through Yorkshire. I think you did well.
Well, I'm definitely getting maybe some kind of extinct version of a hyena or a pre-hyena.
Yeah. I wonder if we've getting a lot of sort of local animal crossovers, if there was maybe some, I'm going to go down a lab route here. I'm going to say the government did some weird experiments on some of these creatures and crossed the streams and ended up with some goddamn African monsters.
What, in ancient Rome?
Man, don't throw a stick in my works.
Yeah, sorry. Take a couple of thousand years off, and yeah, it probably did happen in a lab.
Yeah, you never know what those mugs are up to. They did all kinds of wacky shit, those Romans.
That's it. They were probably trying to turn lead into gold and created a Coracotta instead, and it bit them. But either way, I'm thinking either from your two main hyenas, your striped and your spotted, maybe the spotted ones were a bit rarer and therefore were classed as monsters when they were seen. Or there is some pre-hyena thing which people still see, like, Tasmanian tigers, dodo, people still claim to see them.
Yeah. There would have been monsters back in the day, I guess, like in that have animals imported from other countries. Show them to the crowd.
To visiting white boys, yeah.
Yeah, man. Imagine that.
Because the people from there will see these things and already know them.
Yep.
And then out-of-towners would start visiting when boats got better, and they start seeing these new animals. So, number 8, the Ebigani.
Ebigani.
An Ebigani in the folklore of the Fang of Cameroon, Gabon, and Equatorial Guinea is an ambiguous monster that can be animal or human in form, or a mix of both. It commonly appears in legends and sagas sung by Mayet players.
What's a Mayet?
A Mavet. I don't know. I'm going to say it's some kind of instrument because there's players, and I don't think it's a sport where they sing. Okay. One such heroic tale, told by Tsira Ndong Ndutumi, tells of the hero Mfumu Mba Fumu. When faced with a bridge made of twisted, knotted pythons, he pulled a mouse out of his satchel and spat on its head. The mouse grew in size, its ears spread out like the petals of an enormous flower, its head sprouted horns, its legs lengthened, and its claws sharpened, while its great tail stretched out behind it. Now, armed with sharp fangs and claws and a great bat-like wings, it had become an Ebigani, something like a cross between a bat, a buffalo, and a vampire.
Nice.
Yeah. Mfumu Mba took a red paste crayon and drew a red mark on the Ebigani's head from the base of its skull to the tip of its nose. And when he directed its attention to the pythons, he said, "There is enough meat there to feed you for at least 2 years. To work." The Ebigani flapped its ears loudly, whinnied, and took heavily to the air, circling around like a bird of prey before diving on the bridge. It seized one python in its claws and teeth and, after overcoming its prey's resistance, carried it off to Mount Bagley to devour it at its leisure.
I like that little critter. Got a bit of character, that one.
It makes you think what would have happened if he maybe spat on a rhino's head. What would have happened there? You know, why a mouse? You could have created a much more formidable creature by spitting on something bigger.
Well, this is it.
But yeah.
No, I like that little critter. Yeah. I think the vampire elements make him a bit more freaky.
That came out of nowhere, didn't it? And then went nowhere.
Yep.
As well. Yeah. So, yeah. Right, number 9. The Funkway.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, we're back. The Funkway is a colossal snake from the folklore of Lambas of Zambia. It is approximately 80 miles in length.
What? Get out of town.
And has a tail like that of a fish.
Damn.
These serpents live at the sources of the Kafulafuta and the Itabwa rivers, coiled up in holes deep beneath the surface. When a funkway wants fish to be abundant, it starts swimming downstream, followed by schools of fish. Eventually, its head reaches the Great Kafu River, while its tail is still at the source of the Kafulafuta, a span of 80 miles. It returns from the big river and brings the big fish with it.
Nice. Man, I fucks with a funkway. I like that. I like how big he is.
Do you like 80-mile sized snakes?
Hell yeah. All coiled up in a big hole somewhere, just waiting. Think how much damage that boy could do. Yeah, I like that. He could wrap himself around a building, mate, and crush it like ain't no thing. This is Godzilla size cryptids. This is one of the big boys.
It's almost like an SCP.
Hell yeah.
entry. Yeah.
Like
right. So that brings us to number 10. The Chipique. So another snake. This serpent.
Might as well end on a snake, mate.
Hey.
Might as well end on a snake. We started on one.
We did, and now we're going to end on one. A serpent that lives at the foot of Victoria Falls. That's the really big one, isn't it?
Yes.
At least that's what Dr. Livingstone presumed. Barotse folklore holds that this monster, the Chipique, came from the ocean, travelling over 1,000 miles to rest at the falls. The Chipique rules the river by night, and it is unsafe to approach Victoria Falls during that time. 30 feet in length, the Chipique can easily grab a canoe and immobilize it. Its head is small and slate grey, while its serpentine heavy body winds in black coils. Eyewitnesses include Mr. V. Pear, who saw the Chipique in 1925. It reared and disappeared into a cave. That's the end of quite possibly the first instalment of African Monsters, Lee.
I liked it. Are we thinking for future episodes? We've got a lot of snakes because I like that. I like the theme of snakes, and they're all kind of different.
From what I gather, we're going to be getting a lot of snakes, a lot of birds, and some other things sprinkled in.
I like it. Well, my favourites was the slug dude at the start, the big fat snake.
All right.
Dug him because you imagine that crawling around. And yeah, I take it back what I said. I was trying to act all hard in front of you, trying to impress you. And I don't even know why. I'd be terrified if I saw that slug crawling around. I'd shit my pants, mate. I'd run the other way. So
if you show fear in the face of a monster, I will think nothing less of you.
Fair play, mate. So yeah, that one.
It depends on what noise you make, to be fair.
This is it. If I squeal, who knows? If I let out a manly roar, we'll see. But I'll take that dude, and sitting nicely on top is the little vampire guy.
Oh,
I think them two together would be quite a formidable force. Yeah.
The
Eddie Garbo.
The flying mouse.
Yes.
Ebigani.
The one where you spit on his head and it grows a bit bigger. I like them vibes.
It's just weird. Why couldn't he just rub its head or
That's the Black Mamba, mate.
He's got to spit on it. It's just rude.
Sometimes you got to get down and dirty for these cryptids. Is what it is.
Well, yeah. If that's how nature needs them to respond, then who am I to argue?
Every country has a way of dealing with its cryptids. Sometimes you just got to spit on those mugs. Tell them to fucking do one. Nice, mate. Sounds good. Well, as beautiful as Africa was, I feel like taking this bus back to Yorkshire because it's grim as shit there and I need a bit of that.
Okay. Bye-bye.